Hey traders, and welcome back to a weekly Forex video where I go over some of my top trading setups for the week ahead. And today we are starting with gold, XAUUSD on the 4-hour chart. And I actually have a pretty strong opinion on this one going into the week ahead. I'm actually bullish. And not only that, I actually have a very small, but a position nonetheless on gold to the long side here. And this is a trade that I took actually on live stream. So this is my Webull broker. In the US, I can't trade CFDs like XAUUSD or SPX 500. I can't trade those on a regulated broker. So when I want to trade them with some size, I have to do it on a regulated US stock broker or futures broker. So anyways, I am long gold here, just at the structural lows that we talked about yesterday on Friday. Sorry, this is a very small position for me. I picked it up right around 1922, and I'm currently long. Now let's go over this from a daily chart perspective first. Huge move to the upside as inflation continues to curb here in the United States. In fact, if we're going to talk about gold, we've got to talk about some inflation data really quick. This will take us just a second to go over. If I pull up the US dollar, you can see that inflation continues to be on a decline since its June highs at 9%. We have come down since to 6.5%. Still high, but on the decline. Why is that bullish for the gold market? Well, it cools off that dollar bullishness as the market was super fearful and has been driving this thing to the upside. I have and continue to look for more opportunities to be with the flow of traffic rather than against it. So daily chart is still trending very high or very strong to the upside. And you might say, well, Nick, is this too high to get involved? Well, as a trend trader, I'm not looking to call the top and I'm not looking to call the bottom. I'm looking to get in on pullbacks. And that's exactly what I did on Friday, where I shared this within the Discord channel. So I picked this one up long, and I'll show you guys my thought process. I picked it up on the long side here during Friday's live stream, looking for a continuation back above the highs. Now, I'll note where my stop loss is. If price breaks through this 1911 mark right here, my stop loss will get triggered. If price breaks through that, that basically would nullify my idea of price should continue to hold this area of market structure. And if it doesn't, we're going to go ahead and get out of the way of that trade. Now, when I say if, that's a key word in any professional trader's sort of arsenal. I don't know what the market's going to do at any point. I'm not certain with the next step in the market. I'm not a guru. I'm not a crystal ball owner. I'm a trader. And as a trader, your primary job is to manage risk. So when I took this trade, my stop loss went right below the lows here, basically saying, hey, if price starts trending this way, I don't want to be involved in that market anymore. And I'll take happily a small loss on the account. That is what it's all about as a trader. It's not about making big riches. It's about protecting what you've got. And when we jump into this gold trend, I'm looking to be in the side of the continuation. If this thing trails higher, if we start trending to the upside, then what I'll do is I'll look to take that stop loss and trail it into profit. So I'm bullish going into this week on gold. We'll see if I'm correct about that or if I'll take a small loss. Either ways, I shared it inside of the Discord. And if you guys are not already in the Discord, this is what it looks like. You can see all of the trades being taken by myself. There was the trade shared 9:52 a.m. on Friday. So if you're not already in the Discord, if you'd like to get these updates sent directly to your phone or your computer, this is what it looks like. I've shared the full breakdown as to why I take a trade. So it's more of an educational value rather than just, a copy and paste sort of signal service. That's not really what we're about. But I share all of my trades. And if you'd like to join the free Discord, there is going to be one linked down below in the description. Click that link. You can join the free Discord. I'll also pin it in a comment down below so that you can check it out there if you want to check out our free one before trying to get involved in the paid group. So that is an update on my current gold position. Now let's look at the dollar. In retrospect, or in respect to the gold market, which has been moving to the upside, the dollar has done the opposite. And we see these things happen very often where the dollar moves down, gold moves up. When gold moves up, the dollar moves down. And again, off of that June high, and you'll see there was a bit of a lagging effect there. June, of 2022, inflation starts to peak right around here. And as it starts to peak, the dollar continues to trail higher. It was a delayed effect where now inflation seems increasingly likely to have, for the time being, peaked. And if that is in fact the case, the dollar should continue to decline off of its massive uptrend that we saw in 2022. Now, I've been bearish on the dollar, basically just going with the new trend that seems to have formed, not trying to reinvent the wheel here, not trying to be a forecaster, just trying to react to the markets. And right now, where the dollar currently sits going into this week off the 4-hour chart, which is what we focus heavily on here on the channel, the 4 and the 1 hour chart, you'll notice that we're kind of stuck in a range. And I think that if you're looking to be a dollar seller, we've got to see this thing break through the lows. We've really just had this lagging, slow downward trend recently. If this thing is going to continue going lower, we need to see a break first, right? A strong, decisive move underneath the lows before dollar bearishness can continue. Now, same thing for the bulls. If you're watching from a bullish perspective, I think we have quite an uphill battle in terms of if you're looking for this thing to sort of switch from this bearish downward trend. The problem is we've had a series of lower highs and lower lows. We've seen market structure favoring the bears for a while here, right? Putting in lows, putting in further lows, right? So the bears are looking for a new low this week. And if that happens, there may be continuation selling that I actually would look to get involved in. Now, if it breaks the other direction, we may get a little bit of a short-term run the other side, right? So if price starts breaking through key zones, looking left around 102.4 and 102.8, if these levels get broken, then yeah, maybe the bulls have a turn. But for now, going into this week, I continue to be bearish, not trying to call a bottom, not trying to call a top, just going with the flow of the market. And that's what we consistently talk about here on the channel. By the way, guys, if you're not already following me on Twitter, check it out. I do have a Twitter now, and you can just go to Twitter and type in TraderNickFX. That's my @. I'm kind of new to Twitter, but we've been growing pretty quick. I take that back. I've been on here since 2019, but I only recently started using it. And if you'd like to come keep up with some of my jokes as well as some of my ideas that I share throughout the week, I'd love if you come join me on Twitter. I'll share a link for that down below as well if you'd like to come follow me on Twitter. But I'll be sharing some of my updates on this dollar concept throughout my week on Twitter. If you are a regular over there, then find me. So let's see. We'll keep going. Again, dollar bearishness going into this week if we can break through the lows at 101.6, give or take. Next up, we'll take a look at the euro. So EURUSD here continues again off of that dollar concept. We're going sort of in a big circle here. We're talking about the dollar related stuff first, and we've talked about gold, how I'm generally bullish, the dollar, how I'm generally bearish. Euro is going to fall under that category of generally bullish, as we would expect. If price is able to continue its upward trend here, this level should hold. And it's a very similar concept to the gold market, right? So when I look at the gold market, I'm more bullish, and I'll show you guys that on the Edge Finder here in just a second. If we go to watch list, you can see we're going to take out all the neutrals. And this watch list is generating using all of the different metrics that we pay attention to. The commitment of traders data, retail sentiment, seasonality, the trend, GDP, inflation, unemployment, and interest rates. What this tool does is most traders, here are the three pillars, if you will, of analysis that most traders tend to use. The technical analysis phase, which this is where most retail traders are good. They do the technical analysis stuff just fine. They know how to chart, they know how to do trend trading and price action, pullbacks, Fibonacci, all that sort of stuff. Where they lack big time is the fundamentals and sentiment analysis. And that's why you'll see me on a regular using the Edge Finder, because the Edge Finder helps me to incorporate these additional two things. The sentiment analysis, meaning commitment of traders, looking at what institutional traders are buying and selling. Retail sentiment, understanding what retail traders are buying and selling. These indications can be very, very important when making a trading decision. Of course, fundamental analysis, that's going to be your categories over here. Fundamentally, we're talking about GDP growth of an economy, inflation, unemployment, and interest rates. And this tool generates a bias based on the information that we have. It automates the process, makes it really fast, and this watch list page is basically summing up all of its finds. So when we see gold here coming in as a buy, we can break that down pretty quick. COT data is bullish for gold. Why is that? Well, let's go take a closer look at gold and we'll see why exactly that is. So if I go over to commodities, gold, pull this chart up, you can see we get a +3, which falls into a buy category. And COT data gives us a +1. This COT data is based right over here. Oh, it's messed up. This is wrong. Give me 1 second. I'm going to correct that right now. Okay, and now it's corrected. Sorry about that. We are still undergoing some maintenance on the new pages that we're working on the Edge Finder, but this is the gold specific page. And you can see that COT data here at 72.59% shows that institutional traders are very much buying gold, or they have open long positions on the gold market. And so knowing that can be very useful information when making a decision about gold. And we can do that for all the different assets that we watch, minor currency pairs, major currency pairs, etc. And so, again, going into the euro, what we'll notice is if we go look at the euro specifically, we get a neutral reading. And this is for a number of reasons. From the fundamental perspective, we get a lot of favoring the dollar. And we can go through that really quick, but GDP growth, much slower in Europe. Inflation, much higher in Europe. That's a negative. Unemployment, higher in Europe. And interest rates, higher in the US. So again, fundamentally, we are going to be more bullish on the dollar than the euro in this case. This is why I don't have any strong opinions on the euro crossed against the dollar. What about the pound USD? And we can go look at the Edge Finder for the pound as well. We can see still kind of a negative reading, so nothing crazy here. Still choppy, looking for breakouts one way or the other, preferably a break through the highs if you're looking to be bullish going with this upward trend. There is one on my watch list that I want to pay attention to, which is going to be, well, it was here. It's no longer here. Pound yen was on here, but it seems that it is no longer on the sell category, so we'll ignore that one. Let's grab a couple from the list really quick here, and we'll take a look, for example, first here at Aussie dollar. So AUD USD. So this one has a sell bias in the Edge Finder, but the problem is it's still technically bullish. So when you see a market like this trending to the upside, this is not something that I'm going to look to get on the short side of. Now you might say, well, Nick, it's on the Edge Finder sell. Why not just sell it? Well, because the Edge Finder doesn't tell you about entry timing. It just shares bias based on all of the different metrics that it has. The entry bias is actually going to come from looking for a technical breakout, which in this case, like I said, we are looking technically bullish. We would need to see price failures, right? Lower lows, lower highs, a start to a new trend. We don't quite have that. So we'll keep going and look at someone's. Yesterday's video, I talked a lot about the indices, which are a primary focus for me going into this week outside of gold. NASDAQ 100 looks good, and US 30 looks good. On the long side, if we can get some pullbacks, but that was in yesterday's video. So feel free to go watch that one if you prefer taking a look at some of the indices that we watch. EURUSD and EURNZD, we'll take a quick look at those ones. EURNZD here, and we're looking at a 4-hour chart. Primarily would be interested if we can actually get a break below the lows. So we've got structure here. This actually might be something if we can get a break beneath. We need to see that momentum pick up, show us fresh sellers coming in, and then there may be some opportunity to look for continuation sells. Stops in this case, if we got a clean break right off the week start, would look probably something like this for me. So on a retest, looking for a continuation move with stops above previous structure highs here. So I'd be looking for something like this: break, pullback, continuation move. Again, we have Edge Finder confirmation, simple technical analysis. We keep the technicals simple. People love to overcomplicate charts. I try and keep my charts as simple as I can. I'm just looking for essentially, trend patterns, lower lows, lower highs, pullbacks into support or resistance, and then looking to go with the flow. But then really, again, a large chunk of my analysis comes from the Edge Finder and using the sentiment and fundamental analysis that it helps with. Again, it's kind of like technicals, sentiment, and fundamentals. If you're only looking at one, you're missing out on the story that the other two are saying. So you're trading just with one indicator rather than three things that can be very powerful on price. So another one is Euro JPY. Let's go look at Euro against the Japanese yen, which had a pretty solid run up here recently. And let's go look. We're looking at the 4-hour chart. And I think we may need to get a bit of context on the daily here for a second. So daily chart has been sort of in this decline. What I'd be very interested in is if we do get sort of an explosive move on the euro here past the highs. 142.5 is that level of resistance. If we were able to break that on a pullback on the 4-hour chart, that would actually be beautiful for continuation plays. But I'd be a bit cautious where we currently sit as we're tagging daily chart resistance. Let's keep going. We'll take a look at Euro CHF. Probably a similar story. Euro CHF, really explosive move. And look at this, you guys. This is absolutely crazy. Price came all the way back after that run up last week. I'm sorry, the week before. We had this ginormous push. Price pulls all the way back into support here and does it again. So couple things to think about going into the week on Euro CHF. there's a possibility that we're headed back to retest the highs once more. We've already kind of done it, but I'm talking about this wick here on the daily. If we're looking at the 4-hour chart, right, and we can clean up our zones just a bit here. So if we're looking at the previous high, there's a good chance that this week, if the euro gets another push, Euro JPY and Euro CHF could make a dash for the highs and perhaps even break them. If that happens, euro pairs could have a really strong run. And watching for that break and retest on Euro CHF and Euro JPY, based on the Edge Finder confirmation, I'd be all over potentially getting involved in a trade like that, looking for continuations. But again, need that explosive break through the highs, and then any pullback, I would be very interested in joining. So a couple ideas on Euro CHF, Euro JPY, both getting buy ratings on the Edge Finder. Pound New Zealand gets a strong sell. Let's go look at pound against NZD. So this one had a really crazy week. Here's a 4-hour view. Price pulls back. Look at this, just to the 50% retracement. Touches it just for a second and then pushes back off of it. If you're watching this, okay, so that's a 4-hour chart. If you're watching this on like a 1-hour chart though, you can kind of see that price has sort of found its bearings. It's been putting in these lower lows. You may still be able to catch part of the move if it were to be able to break through the lows, and perhaps you could catch that on like a 15-minute, 30-minute chart or 1-hour chart. You know, that is an idea, and the idea there being a return back to the previous lows. So I do like this one, not nearly as much as some of the other things that we've been talking about, but it does get confirmation with the Edge Finder, so I'd be looking for a technical break, retest, and expansion down into the previous low, or perhaps even beyond it. So just a idea there for me there. Okay, guys, I also want to say, if you don't already have the Edge Finder and you would like access to it, we do have a sale going on. You can click the link in the description if you'd like to get access to the Edge Finder. Or if you'd like a free trial of the tool, you can also sign up for a free trial on that page. So just click that link in the description. You can get taken to the page where you can find out more information about our software. And if you would like to try it out, there's a free trial button right there at the top. Fill that form out, get a trial with our team, and one of our team members will get you set up and explain and perhaps even train you how to use the tool, as we have many traders who are using this software to help better their trading. If you're interested in that, again, the link will be down below in the description. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Have a great trading week, and we'll see you back next time.